But we'll give you some details like the release date, maybe talk a little bit about what they're about and who might be in them, so that we can all get excited about these movies together. And this is your one-stop shop. You can find out all the interesting movies, or what we think are the interesting movies that you can look out for this summer, the biggest time of the year for theaters. And we also did have the Minecraft movie come out, which I think came out in April, so kind of still in the spring, but that's
like the start, yeah,
the biggest box office juggernaut of the year so far, so just worth mentioning.
Okay, so the next one we got comes out June 6th. We actually just did a trailer reaction on this one not too long ago, and that is Ballerina. June 13th, an original film does come out, and that is The Materialist,
which I want to say is an A24 movie. It's a movie starring Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal.
After Jurassic World comes out, we have the new DC movie getting ready to launch. The new DCU, July 11th, we have Superman. Welcome to Backseat Directing,
where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
We're your hosts,
Andrew
and Aaron.
We put out new episodes every Monday and Thursday.
And on this episode, we're talking about the biggest movies coming out this summer.
3, 2, 1,
action! We're kind of at the start of summer here, Andrew, which means we're about ready to ramp up into the biggest movies of the year, the biggest blockbusters, if you will, over the summer. There's a lot of them.
We've already hit a couple of them. A couple of them have already launched. So as of our recording this, we've already seen Lilo & Stitch and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning come out in the same weekend. They battled out head-to-head. It looks like Lilo & Stitch is currently in the lead.
That's crazy.
Disney's the monster that can't be stopped. But we also did have the Minecraft movie come out, which I think came out in April. So kind of still in the spring, but that's
like the start, yeah,
the biggest box office juggernaut of the year so far. So just worth mentioning, even if it's not a summer blockbuster.
That one's almost at $1 billion, right?
It's like 900 million, yeah.
That's crazy.
Box office juggernaut. But some of these movies coming out do stand a chance to potentially overtake Minecraft movie. Usually throughout the year, we'll see one, maybe even two $1 billion movies. That's been the trend for the past couple of years when we've really been dialed in watching the recent box office. I mean, last year we had Inside Out 2, careen way over, I think, to like 1.5, 1.6 billion. So these kids movies, they're ones to watch out for, like Lilo & Stitch that just came out. And we have one or two that we'll talk about today. I know a couple more animated movies are still in the tank. You know, we've got Elio, Bad Guys 2. I don't think those two will perform on the same level as like Inside Out 2 or Lilo & Stitch, but
because they're not part of a franchise.
They're not franchise-based, no.
That's kind of the theme that we've been.
Bad Guys 2 is a second movie in a franchise.
I guess it is.
But it's like it's not one of the most popular DreamWorks movies, you know.
Right. The animation looked cool though.
It's unique.
At least for the first one.
Yeah.
All right, so are we just going to kind of go in order of release date here?
Yeah, we'll go in order from release date. We'll talk about some of the biggest movies you can expect this summer. Maybe some of them you've heard of, maybe some of them you haven't. I did put a few in our list, or we did put a few in our list that are not as big budget blockbusters, but are interesting movies still for you to look out for this summer. Things like The Materialist or Caught Stealing, maybe those ones you haven't heard of and you might want to take an interest in. But we'll give you some details like the release date, maybe talk a little bit about what they're about and who might be in them, so that we can all get excited about these movies together. And this is your one-stop shop. You can find out all the interesting movies, or what we think are the interesting movies that you can look out for this summer, the biggest time of the year for theaters in the box office.
Bum, bum, bum. So let's go ahead and dive right in then.
As Aaron's about to say that, I do want to interrupt him to say, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow our Discord. The link is below in the description, and look out for the video that we may have just posted. We posted a special video that we are currently in the process of wrapping up the edit on, one of our special, unique production videos where we work on being inspired by a story and recreating elements of a big movie, in this case, Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. Yeah, we made a short film and then we filmed a whole behind the scenes vlog of that film.
Super cool video.
Kind of how we did the shots that we got for the film. So check that out if you haven't seen it already. But kicking us off for this summer's topics, we have May 30th, Karate Kid Legends coming out.
which this is kind of a big deal for marrying audiences, right? Because we have movies like Super Mario Bros. That was great for people who are nostalgic on Mario and young kids coming up with Mario. A lot of kids nowadays are coming up with Cobra Kai, the Netflix series, which I think started out as a YouTube series, picked up by Netflix in the second season, and then people who are, yeah, I think the first season was like a YouTube Red series.
Hmm.
But then a lot of people, myself included, their first introduction to Karate Kid was in the original movies, or maybe you're kind of in me and Aaron's age group too, where you might have first been introduced to it by Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan in that Karate Kid, which I want to say is like circa 2012.
I think it came out 2010.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
That's a great movie.
I'll double check.
That's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
And this movie kind of marries all of those things together because you have Daniel LaRusso in the movie, played by Ralph Macchio, training the new, I think his name's Brandon Lee, the new Karate Kid. You're correct. It was 2010.
2010.
But you've got Ralph Macchio. He's like the tether between all these different things because he's in Cobra Kai heavily. He's in the original 3 Karate Kid movies. And then you've also got Jackie Chan, which tethers in the 2010, thank you, Aaron, Karate Kid movie with Jaden Smith. And we've got a new Karate Kid that the two of them are training together in this movie. And that's kind of exciting. I don't know. I think I sent it to you. There's not a behind the scenes, but there's a promo video they did where they say something like, this is what it's like to fight the Karate Kid. And the actor for the new Karate Kid is like, what? And these two guys just start fighting him. The camera's like moving around really dynamically. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Oh, I don't think I have.
If the fighting and combat in Karate Kid Legends is anything like that video, then it's going to be pretty sick.
So I think it is going to be pretty cool because they did release like a scene, like a behind the scenes kind of shots of them like kind of fighting in the kitchen with him and Jackie Chan, just kind of like as practice or whatever. And that scene looked really cool. The Corridor crew, they're you might know them from like VFX Artists React. They like had that actor on the couch and they were talking about how they were going through filming this scene for this movie.
His name is
really
Ben
cool.
Wong, by the way, the star.
Yeah. Well, he looks like he knows.
Wait, yeah.
A lot about not only the karate stuff that they're doing just from his dancing background, but also it seems like he picked up a lot of the process of filmmaking from that interview, which is really cool.
Hopefully he did a lot of his own stunts because it's a really cool opportunity for a young actor. Not that there's so much pressure to quote unquote do your own stunts in Hollywood now. Not that everyone has to, but I feel like that's a cool opportunity if you have the chance in a movie like that.
Yeah. It is really cool. I think this movie will be good. I think it'll have good action, especially coming off of Cobra Kai. You know, I think they're kind of in a groove with this franchise. You know, I feel like it would be hard for them to have Cobra Kai success and then for this movie to take a step back.
Yeah, Cobra Kai is a very successful show with now like 5 or 6 seasons, I think. So I'm sure they have kind of a built-in audience, and that's part of why they felt so comfortable making this movie. But then you've got the built-in audience that comes with the Jackie Chan fan base on top of it. So it should be, I think, a relative hit to the amount of money this movie should cost.
Let's let me pull up the ratings for it then. Or the
I saw the early ratings on IMDb. They weren't too promising.
I didn't mean the ratings. I meant the budget. Because you were talking about.
I can tell you guys the ratings. I don't want to dampen the excitement for the movie. It was only a 6.5 is what the preliminary IMDb rating for the movie is. But I mean, it obviously hasn't even been released yet to a wide audience.
I mean, there's quite a few 6.5 movies out there that are enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know? I wonder what the like original, the other Karate Kids movies would be.
I can find out the original is.
And I'm looking up the budget. The budget, $13.5 million. So
I accidentally searched Karate Mid, and this new movie came up, Karate Kid Legends.
That's rude. That's rude.
It's not for me. So 7.3 is what the original 1984 classic Karate Kid has, which is kind of crazy. And then Karate Kid 2010 IMDb is a 6.2. That's shocking.
You really like that movie.
That movie has some. My main issue with the Karate Kid 2010 is like there are long swatches of it that I feel like could be cut down shorter, where it's a little bit more boring in those sections. But overall, the movie is really fantastically entertaining.
Yeah, and the fights were really cool.
Fights were great. Choreography's great. Yeah, their villain, he's a really good he's a really good villain in that movie, young actor and doing the combat. But Jaden Smith is really great in that movie. He has like his dad's charisma all the way in that role, and Jackie Chan always phenomenal on screen.
Yeah, I agree.
Mr. Han, Mr. Han.
It looks like the original Karate Kid had a budget of $8 million. So that means
money.
This one only has $6 million more of a budget, and it's made how much further after?
I wonder what the inflation is on that money from 1984. Like, is that closer to 20 million today? You think, or
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
yeah.
So that means they're making this one even cheaper.
But let's go on to the next movie because we talked about Karate Kid Legends a lot already. I'm really excited for this next one.
Okay, so the next one we got comes out June 6th. We actually just did a trailer reaction on this one not too long ago, and that is Ballerina, John Wick story.
From the world of John Wick,
Bum, bum.
Ballerina. Starring Ana de Armas with, obviously, if you've seen the trailer, a cameo from Keanu Reeves, the main man, John Wick himself. This movie was, I can't recall the director's name, but it was done by a new director outside of the John Wick franchise, and then Chad Stahelski, the John Wick director, had to come back in and do 3 months of reshoots and basically reshoot most of the movie, it sounds like, from
Really?
at the time. Yeah.
Well, he's not credited as a director.
He won't be. No, studios don't like to do that, apparently.
Len Wiseman?
Yeah, Len Wiseman's the original director. So they don't like to co-credit directors because it, like, one, it'll affect award contention because it'll look not as good, and they don't generally, Hollywood doesn't like to give awards to movies that are directed by two people, though it does happen. Coen brothers or Safdie brothers, or like whatever the one is, Daniels from Everything Everywhere All at Once. But it lessens your chances. Probably not a big worry for this movie because it's an action movie. What I think they're worried about is just box office. When people see that new directors come in, or like two directors have worked on something and it's not intentional, people assume the movie might be bad. So they're probably trying to keep a lid on the fact that
I didn't
redirect the movie.
I didn't even hear about that.
They don't want you to.
Yeah. How did
It's
you
very
hear about that?
intentional. I got my sources.
Oh, okay. You're not sharing your sources on the podcast? That's crazy. Acting like he's texting insiders over here. That's crazy.
Len Wiseman texted me. He was like, dude, this is so unfair.
Yeah,
Like,
they look
so hard on the movie. Like,
They just don't understand the vision, bro.
you really think Chad Stahelski can direct this movie better than me?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they had to call the main man back. If you don't know, Chad Stahelski was the director, kind of the original vision for John Wick, along with David Lech. The two of them, they directed the first John Wick together. But again, in that case, they only billed Chad Stahelski as director. And I think David Lech was like the head stunt coordinator or something, even though he did a lot of the directing legwork for the movie. Studios just don't like to do that very often. Like I said, does happen. But I'm excited for this movie. The trailer looks really good. There's 2 trailers out, I believe. You can go check those out online if you want to. Ana de Armas looks awesome. She's got her back all tatted up like John Wick does, and she's totally kicking ass in this trailer.
I'm trying to see a list of who the cinematographer was for the other movies.
See, yeah, because that's a big deal. I mean, that neon John Wick aesthetic and that fluid camera movement during fights.
It looks like it's Dan Lungston, but I don't see. It looks like he did the 4th one for sure, but I don't see what the other ones were.
Honestly, you know who's the unsung hero of an action movie? The editor.
Yeah.
That's a very important job in an action movie, keeping everything very understandable, especially in like fast-paced action scenes.
Yeah.
And know where everyone is and not get confused.
Definitely.
Very easy to mess up.
Yeah, I'm excited for Ballerina as well.
It's a big action. We don't get enough like just action movies. Like this year we've got Ballerina and Nobody 2, which I haven't seen the first Nobody. I want to watch that before the second one comes out with Bob Odenkirk. But we just don't get enough of these kind of movies. I feel like there used to be so many every summer.
Take it.
Now we get like one Jason Statham movie a year, one John Wick movie a year, and then some like a lottery pick.
I mean, that's quite a few.
That's 3.
Well, you had Novocaine.
Yeah, that's
had
Novocaine was awesome.
Great
movie. Check it out.
Boy Meets World, or what was it?
Oh, Boy Kills World.
Boy Kills World.
Boy Meets World. The Disney show.
That's funny. So like, there's some out there.
I think we get a fraction of what we used to get. I think I mean, unless like superhero movies have action, but that's like
I think we get more.
It's its own genre now. Yeah, like the Havoc movie that just came out with Tom Hardy. Did not like that movie. If you count streaming, loads of action movies.
Yeah, too many movies, honestly. Okay, what do we got next?
Face ID is coming in clutch. All right, next on also on June 6th, we've got The Phoenician Scheme. This is another movie that I'm excited for. Me and my wife talked about this. We're not huge Wes Anderson fans, but we do love some of his movies. I specifically love his animated movies like Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs, the claymation style movies. But I'm not a huge fan of a lot of his other work. I know it's probably an unpopular opinion in like movie artist circles. But I think the Phoenician Scheme trailer looks really interesting, and the cast is so stacked; it's unbelievable. Actually, I'm gonna pull up the cast so I can read it while I'm talking about it.
I don't think I've seen this trailer.
I've seen this trailer; they're playing it a lot. Um, Let me get the Phoenician Scheme up here. So I said the weekend that it's coming out. It currently has a preliminary rating of a 6.8. The description says a wealthy businessman, Zaza Korda, appoints his only daughter, a nun, as sole heir to his estate. As Korda embarks on a new enterprise, they soon become the target of scheming tycoons, foreign terrorists, and determined assassins. But if you know Wes Anderson's kind of style and aesthetic, it's a little bit goofy and fun. It's not just like a pure action movie. And he has a really cool visual style that's like super neat and organized and symmetrical. That's really fun and visually pleasing. It stars Benicio del Toro as the aforementioned Zaza Corda. Mia, I hope I don't mispronounce her name. Threapleton? Threepleton as his daughter, Mia Threepleton. Michael Cera, who I'm excited to see in a Wes Anderson movie. Truman Hanks, Steve Park, Scott Shepard, Willem Dafoe, who is a Wes Anderson regular, F. Murray Abraham, Carmen Mahaatoni, and I'm not pulling it up in as I'm going through the list, but there is other people as well. Like I know Bryan Cranston's in this movie; he's in the trailer. Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, is in the trailer as well. He's starting to become a Wes Anderson regular. He was in a lot of the shorts he did on Netflix, like The Wonderful Henry Sugar. He starred in that. Um, but I am pumped for this movie. I like the look. I think it seems like a lot of fun. I might be disappointed, but I'm going to be seeing it in theaters. I've been disappointed by Wes Anderson movies before. I know other people love him to death, but you've a very particular style, which we can always appreciate. Somebody who's got their own style, can respect
Absolutely.
it, even if it doesn't match our particular tastes.
All right, coming in on June 13th is a live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon, which we did a trailer reaction to this. I think the trailer actually looks pretty good.
So I've seen one thing I want to ask you. I've seen Jay Stubes. She's a popular TikTok personality. I respect a lot of her opinions. And I've seen her talk about how she thinks all the live action remakes are like artless and soulless, basically because it saps the creativity by just telling the story again in live action, which was obviously meant to be an animation for a reason.
Mhm.
How do you feel about that?
I'm so if there's like a spectrum where it's like her opinion over here of like, yeah, there's no soul, it's just ripping off the original, and then if it's over here of like, no, this is art, this is creative, this is good idea, I'm leaning more towards her direction, her opinion. But I'm maybe not as far as like on the like, yeah, like they're always 100% bad.
I feel like I would agree with you also. When I look at a project, I think we should all be, or when I try to make a project, or I think everyone should be thinking, like, why do we need this? Why do we want to make this? And
Yeah,
yes, making money is always going to be a reason, but I think there should be other reasons too, like
I
a
think
story to tell.
I think early on it was for technological advances in filmmaking, like with The Lion King and Jungle Book
They could use the same
and stuff like
technological
that.
advances to make an original story too, like still in the Disney style with princes and princesses or what have you, and fantastical elements.
Well, don't tell me.
I think that they're just not necessary because, like I said it before or hinted at before, I think these stories are in animation for a reason. Like all these talking tigers and stuff in The Lion King, it fits animation. It works in animation. I don't want to see Toy Story in live action. That sounds creepy as hell.
I have yet to see a remake that I've liked more than the original animated film
If
for
they were
sure.
gonna do something in live action, like honestly, The Incredibles would be the top of my list. I wouldn't have done all these other
Because
things
those
I'm
are all
doing.
people.
People, they're real,
Yeah,
yeah. And superhero movies are big right now,
right.
or have been big for the last
Or like
decade
maybe
and a
even
half.
like Soul. That
What
one
would
was
be
wasn't that one like all people and stuff too?
Soul's a lot of like in the when they're the little blue people a lot. Most of the movie, I think.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
But like there's I think better picks. I think Lilo and Stitch is a weird one because Stitch is such a focus of the movie. But they're gonna make money, so they're gonna keep making them.
Yeah. Um,
It's been out now
I
almost
I
a week.
do think the trailer looks good though. Like they've captured the world well. I think of
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon.
I do think that's the thing though, is it's always like with a grain of salt. It's like, yeah, for a live action
Yeah.
remake, this one looks cool, you know?
Yeah.
Which I agree. Like the cast is cool.
But the dragons like don't talk and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah, that helps.
in How to Train Your Dragon.
But
So
again, it's just I think I'm always going to be thinking how it's better in the animated, and that's going to kind of set the movie back a step before it even comes off the starting blocks. I do give them a lot of props for actually casting Gerard Butler like in his own role,
Mhm.
like having, and he's perfect for it.
Mhm.
He looks so good in the trailer. Mason Thames looks good. I think Nico Bella is the name of the woman playing Astrid. Everybody, I'm excited for the movie as a concept. If they had done something more original, I would have been more excited.
Yeah, I agree.
I love those movies. Great movies and or animated version.
Okay, well, the same date, June 13th, an original film does come out, and that is The Materialist.
Which I want to say is an A24 movie. It's a movie starring Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. So there's somebody for everybody to thirst over. A young, ambitious New York City matchmaker finds herself torn between the perfect match and her imperfect ex. I saw somebody describe this really well. They were like, oh, she's choosing between her ex, Chris Evans, who's like down on his luck ex boyfriend guy, or handsome, rich, successful Pedro Pascal. They were like, how is this a choice? How is this a movie? I know I'll be thirsting over Pedro Pascal when I watch the movie.
Yeah, but come on, that's not giving enough credit over to Chris Evans here.
But Pedro Pascal's also rich.
Yeah, but like,
I think what's going to
who
make
the person is
what's
too.
going to make the
Andrew.
movie interesting.
You shallow son of a gun.
He's rich. But what's going to make the movie interesting is I'm sure there's like
I
a lot
think
of
Chris Evans is more attractive.
sorry, the middle of my sentence and
Yeah, I
the
know.
beginning of yours. I was trying to say that it's going to be interesting because she has a past with Chris Evans. I'm sure that's what makes it more complicated.
Yeah.
You think Chris Evans more handsome than Pedro Pascal?
Yes.
I don't know that I can agree with that.
No.
They both seem to have cool personalities. I'll give them that.
They do.
They're really fun to watch in interviews. But this movie, bringing back kind of a more dramatic feel to the rom-com. It seems like it's R-rated, hour and 49 minutes, and we don't get a lot of these movies either anymore. The rom-com industry is definitely dying.
Right.
And the last one I remember in theaters was like Anyone But You, and that was like over a year ago. Probably forgetting some. There's rom-com elements, like Novocaine has rom-com elements, but it's an action movie.
Not a rom-com.
A true rom-com like Failure to Launch or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or anything with Matthew McConaughey. There hasn't been as many of those.
I feel like those movies just go straight to streaming. And normally they're not that good.
Yeah, they've definitely dipped in quality and quantity.
You think it's slowly because they don't bring in as much money?
Oh, well, yeah. But I think their money to like cost ratio isn't that bad.
Right.
I think that the comedies in general are kind of dead at theaters. Like I think comedies used to make a lot of their money on the back end when people would buy DVD sales, and I think that's a big part of why now that they're streaming, comedies just don't get made as much anymore unless you've got like a Jonah Hill or something. And then like animated comedies are more popular. They're like people get their comedy in the MCU movie. They're fine. They just don't make them. But one thing I forgot to mention is that Celine Song is writing and directing this movie. I love Celine Song. The only one of her films that I've seen is Past Lives, but she is a really talented filmmaker. And I've been excited to see what she's going to do next.
Yeah, this movie looks good. And it seems like the three of them have good chemistry in like real life too. Because
Pedro Pascal, he could have chemistry with a rock. It is A24. So Celine Song's working with A24 again because Past Lives was an A24 film.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the next one.
All right. The next one is on June 20th, and it is 28 years later.
Now, don't get those confused. It is on the date June 20th, but the movie is 28 years later.
So that means it originally came out.
I would
28 years later.
I would have put it on the 28th. Like I don't care what day of the week it is. It's worth it, right?
Maybe.
I think that this movie looks really enthralling. I think that horror movies have gotten to the point in our modern like cinema where they are just the most aesthetic, cinematic looking movies that come out. And I can't. I mean, I really shouldn't say that as like a blanket statement, but horror movies have gotten to have some of the most amazing, exciting camera work and visuals of all movies, and they never get awards contention, so it's super annoying. But movies like last year, like Smile 2, Smile 2 had some of the coolest camera work and best visuals all year. And then Alien Romulus, that's like a horror monster movie. One of the best movies came out last year. Blink Twice is like a thriller, more of a thriller, but one of my favorite movies that came out last year. And it's annoying that they don't get award contention. But this movie's trailer looks insanely beautiful.
Yeah, I
Scary
totally
beautiful.
agree. I totally agree. The trailer looked really good. And after watching the trailer, we watched both the first two movies.
27 days later and 27 weeks later.
Yeah. 27?
28. I
It's okay.
I always want to call
A
it
lot of
27. I don't know why.
I don't know.
I always want to change the numbers, just like
Yeah.
drastically.
82. But no, what did you think of the first two?
I thought I didn't love the first two.
I feel like made in like a different period of filmmaking in terms of like how they present an edit and a story. That's the thing that really stuck out to me with both of the films is that the editing's way different than movies these days.
I can appreciate the first movie more so. The second movie like really ramped up the budget and I feel like still didn't really hit the mark.
Mhm.
The first movie, I appreciated it more so for how they accomplished what they accomplished with so little resources. And then in the third act, I feel like the writing kind of took over and increased the quality of the movie, where the writing got more interesting when humans became more of the problem than the infected.
Yeah. I think even though those two movies maybe aren't our favorite, but this third one looks really good.
It's got Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's
Yeah.
got Ray Fiennes. Like it looks like it's going to be stellar. The camera work is insane. Shot it on an iPhone. I think they got Alex Garland and Danny Boyle back working on this one. I can confirm that so that you guys aren't just wondering. But I I used to not be nearly as into horror, and just the quality, sheer quality of horror movies in like the last 5 years has drawn me a lot more into the genre. We should read the description for this one because not everyone might know. So I'm sure it's gonna be R-rated, but it doesn't say yet. A group of survivors of the rage virus lives on a small island. When one of the group leaves the island on a mission into the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected but other survivors. So kind of like The Last of Us esque, where like the mutations, because we've seen one in the trailer. There's like a mounted shot on its back, and it's like a really grotesque monster looking thing. So they've mutated beyond the humanoid form.
Yeah.
And I was correct. Director Danny Boyle, writers Danny Boyle and Alex Garland. So the OG crew. And from what I've heard, they have confirmed Cillian Murphy coming back in this movie.
Really?
Which may just be a cameo. I don't know to what extent, but that's the news on the street that I heard.
Interesting. If horror is not your forte, you can go with a animated movie like we were talking about earlier, coming out on the same day, June 20th, and that is Elio. Is that Disney or Pixar or?
Yeah, Disney Pixar. So that
Yeah.
I mean, Disney owns Pixar, but like Disney, like you were saying, Disney makes their own movies. Pixar animates movies. My understanding is this is a Pixar movie because under the studios it says Walt Disney Pictures and Pixar.
Perfect.
So to me that
Look at
means
Pixar.
Pixar.
Look at
It's
that.
very confusing to me until the movie comes
Really?
out. Once it's like closer to coming out, they'll be like Pixar from the studio that brought you The Good Dinosaur. You know, then you'll be like, oh yeah, it's Pixar. I'm not excited for this movie. This movie's been pushed like 2 years, I think. We talked about this way back in a D20.
I thought so.
That,
Yeah,
like
D23 or something.
Very
right?
early in the podcast history, we talked about the one of the Disney expos that they had mentioned Elio. The concept of the movie is that this like young kid accidentally stumbles into this intergalactic meeting of the minds, and he becomes like the representative for Earth, even though he's an Earth child, but the aliens don't recognize that he's a kid by Earth standards. So it's like kooky, fun, classic kind of Pixar setup, you know, with some unique situation. But I haven't heard a lot of hype for this movie. I'll reserve judgment until I see a trailer, but I don't think it's going to do big numbers the way that a lot of Pixar movies do.
Yeah, which is interesting. Like how some of these movies kind of get swept under the rug, you
I'm
know,
gonna have to go see it because
get
otherwise I'm gonna have
quieter.
to resign myself to only watching like Frozen 5, and then won't make any more original movies. So I'll have to go see it so I can talk my shit that we need to support original movies.
Yeah. Um, June 27th is a movie that I'm excited for. We both already booked our tickets for this movie, and that is F1, the movie. We just did a trailer reaction for this one as well. That came out last week. If you haven't seen that, you can go check that out. I think this movie looks fantastic. It's directed by the same director as Top Gun Maverick.
Joseph Kosinski.
And I think that's really cool because they did such a good job in Top Gun Maverick with the flight scenes and shots. I think they're going to do a lot of cool, unique shots and camera work for the F1 races, which we've already seen some of those shots in the trailer. And the camera's like real close to the action, and it all looks very realistic, grounded, and it really feels like you're there in
Fast,
the car with them.
fast-paced edit, and they film a lot of practical shots of the jets in Top Gun Maverick, and it looks like they're doing the same. I think they went to Europe and filmed at the real, F1 racing tracks. So they've got actual practical footage of F1 race car drivers driving the actual cars, and that's going to really enhance the movie and the production value. Then the cast is stacked: Brad Pitt starring, Javier Bardem, Kerry Condon, and this actor Damson Idris. I'm not sure what I've seen him in. He looks a little familiar, but he's another one. He's the co-star along with Brad Pitt, like the young hotshot race car driver. And the dynamic between them looks like will have good tension. I'm pumped. I'm set. Like Aaron said, our tickets are bought. We're showing up to see this movie in Dolby.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Dolby's going to be really cool for this movie.
I think of Jamie Foxx in Baby Driver when he's like, "You just put your foot on the gas." He's in the that Pooh edit.
Okay, now we're getting into July, which has three of probably the biggest movies of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if these literally go 1, 2, 3 in the box office return.
Have to beat the juggernaut, the Minecraft movie, baby. Speaking of the Minecraft movie, I think when movies have like the name "the movie" in the title, I think it degrades their stock value in my mind. Like Super Mario movie, Garfield movie, and now they've added that to F1. I don't know why, to make it more clear that you're not watching
the race.
Yeah, like you're not like buying a ticket to go to theaters and watch the race.
I'm gonna go see F1.
No,
the movie.
You're gonna go see F1 the movie. I don't like that they added that.
Yeah, I feel like we can just say that ourselves. It doesn't have to be like on all the official marketing.
I just don't like the branding decision because it was in everything. It was in everything as F1 until recently.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything with it saying F1 the movie.
Yeah, it was on IMDb that way until like a week or two ago.
But yeah, so starting off July is on July 2nd, we have Jurassic World Rebirth. Andrew's very pumped for this movie.
Yeah, I wish I could be reborn to experience this movie multiple times. Wish I could watch it, be rebirthed, and then watch it again for the first time.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen the most recent Jurassic World movie. I don't care about them so much. I literally have.
I haven't seen the most recent two.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Fallen Kingdom or Dominion.
Jurassic World.
Well, then you're in a good spot because you've only seen the good one. Like that one's decent. That one's pretty good. I hold Jurassic Park in very high regard. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I do have a written list of my top 20 favorite movies, and Jurassic Park is in my top 10. I love that movie. I've watched it growing up with my grandparents time and time again. I just hate that they're bastardizing the franchises with unending money grubbing trash sequels that bring no quality plot to the franchise.
None of what you said sounds good.
Scarjo's classic line from the trailer. Yeah, the dialogue sounds shitty. None of what you just said sounds good. I can guarantee your survival. More or less. More or less. Scooby-Doo ass jokes. It's like that Scooby-Doo joke from Doctor Strange. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe the special effects will be groundbreaking, and it'll be great to see in a big theater. It'll be fun to watch one time, but I don't know if it's going to be the kind of movie that's going to make me want to come back. We've got great cast. We've got Marshall Ali, ScarJo, the guy from Wicked. I forget his name.
Mm, I don't know.
Studley Man. He's starring in it.
It kind of feels like a Megalodon movie or something,
Like a
you
Meg
know,
movie
where
with
it's like
Jason Statham. If Jason Statham pulled up in this movie,
it's
dude,
just a really cool action movie where you sit back and you turn your brain off and have fun, you know?
they're all just like on the edge of a cliff, and he pulls up. He's like, "I'm a working man."
But that's not how the first like trilogy was of Jurassic Park, you
No,
know?
it just had such good meld of like adventure and dramaticism and like thriller horror elements, and it blended them so seamlessly where you could be like uplifted and wondrous, adventurous moments, and then on the edge of your seat, nervous at the
Yeah.
raptor scene in the kitchen. They had genres on lock. It was just Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg was in his bag in that time period in history. It's like 1990, I think.
Yeah, and they keep having the or feeling the need to like create new dinosaurs.
You don't have to do that.
They're
Dinosaurs are cool.
they're scary enough, and there's so many dinosaurs that we haven't seen on screen.
For real.
Like,
Like they put in the Spinosaurus in the second movie in the original franchise.
yeah,
Like that was a new dinosaur, but it wasn't some hybridized
that can
mutated
turn
dinosaur.
invisible
Yeah.
or like
It just was another dinosaur that was bigger than the T-Rex, you know?
Right.
Like this water, they have some kind of water dinosaur in the new one. That's cool. Like it doesn't have to be invented. They
yeah.
had a big water one in Jurassic World. That was cool. Like it didn't have to be the Hydrocephalus Rex or something, you know, like Andomino Hydro something Rex.
Dude,
Bananas Foster Rex.
people should like reach out to you to help them name dinosaurs. That's pretty good.
I do my best work on the spot though.
Okay, so after Jurassic World comes out, we have the new DC movie getting ready to launch the new DCU July 11th. We have Superman, the movie. Yeah,
Is that the Superman theme? Am I getting that right?
I think you like started and then you switched.
I'm trying to do the electric guitar version from the trailer. I know, like the chord is like it's super cool. I like the sound of the new.
Yeah, it does. Theme. The new sound does sound good.
This is the movie I will unveil that I am most excited for all year long.
Yes.
This is my number one on my list. Looks really cool. Our introduction to the live action DCEU. Creature Commandos was great. Got me excited for this world. And now I'm ready to step into the live action world. Awesome cast. I love David Corenswet as Superman. We're going to see Isabella Merced back from my favorite show, The Last of Us. We're going to see Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I don't know why. I was almost going to say Supergirl. But the cast is awesome. James Gunn is a great director, and I'm excited to see the action, the scope, and scale of this movie. Visually looks stunning. I saw somebody online today complaining about the blues and the highlights and the blues and the reflections, and I was like, you sound so stupid right now. He's in a bunch of snow. Like it's white and blue. It's the cut, like he's wearing a blue suit, and it's like, sure, the shot looks like it has a considerable amount of blue in it because the things in it are blue. Like the items are blue.
Yeah, people are masters of the color grade these days.
I just think it looks cool.
I agree.
It feels vibrant.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, people complained about Zack Snyder's Superman, Man of Steel.
Which that's the most obvious.
Like, people are always going to complain.
That's the obvious thing you can notice is like the saturation. Is like, is there a lot of color or is there not a lot of color? And outside of that, like a lot of people are just talking out of their ass.
For sure. Definitely. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one too. I think the trailers look really good. I'm excited to see kind of the launch of this new world. The thing about this movie that I'm looking most forward to is that the world is already established. I'm excited to see like these characters not necessarily have to like start from scratch, you know?
I'm excited to see what Superman can do in James Gunn's world.
Yeah.
I want to see like a Superman that can really do these dynamic. I mean, he did great things in Man of Steel, but we haven't seen Superman on screen doing action for years. But I want to get back to Superman doing cool shit, fighting, and it seemed like that scene where he's guarding the little girl with his body with the like exploding tanks, stuff like that. It's awesome to see Superman using his durability and his speed and his strength. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Well, if that's not enough superheroes for you, we have another one coming out at the end of the month. July 25th, we have Fantastic Four First Step.
Steps, yes.
This is a big movie for Marvel, I think. They're coming off of,
Basically 2 flops.
yeah, one was received well,
Yeah.
but didn't make much
I
money.
think they're losing money on both those movies.
Yeah. Um, in comparison, I was watching a clip from the Escape Pod, and they were saying that if Multiverse of Madness was a good movie, there wouldn't have been a whatever phase this is. Was it phase 5? Like slump, because that movie opened up opening weekend to $400 million. That's more than what Thunderbolts and what Captain America: Brave New World made
That's what I was counting on for my
over their course of being in the theater.
Yeah.
So if that many people were going out to see Multiverse of Madness, and then like I don't think it made past 500 million.
This
Let me
huge
look.
stellar second weekend drop off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 600 million, something in the 640 ballpark for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. That is when Marvel definitely started to have their fall off, and reliable
Oh,
characters like
well, they were wrong on how much it grossed worldwide.
maybe
maybe
they said
maybe-
domestic.
Maybe they were talking about domestic because it made almost $1 billion total. So maybe they were talking out of their ass there. Um, but yeah, it's interesting how much power these MCU movies used to have. Like opening weekend, like literally everyone was going to see these movies.
And I personally don't consider Doctor Strange a first round draft pick MCU character either. So that's
No.
insane numbers for like a bench player.
Right, exactly. He's not even the Sorcerer Supreme.
Wong is
Yeah, he's not even the coolest
person in his
wizard
movie.
with powers. But yeah, what is your expectation levels or excitement levels for Fantastic Four?
I think it looks really cool. We've seen from the trailer that the plot consists of a really family oriented element, which is perfect for the Fantastic Four based on the comics. They really are like a family. That's why I call them Marvel's first family. And it looks like they're going to be encountering a version of the Silver Surfer, a female version of the Silver Surfer, and Galactus in this movie is going to be their opponents. We know from the end of Thunderbolts, spoiler alert, that they're going to pop into the mainline MCU at some point where the Thunderbolts exist. So I'm interested to see how they tie them into the main MCU, and I'm interested to see how they visually display powers for them, because especially with Mr. Fantastic, I think you can get really creative with stretching powers. So we'll see how good the action pans out. The trailer, I think, has a cool rhythm to it. I like the sound design of the trailer, and I'm excited to see what they do with Ben Grimm as well. What about you? What's your expectation?
I'm kind of in the middle of the road on this one. I haven't been sitting there being like, oh, I need a Fantastic Four movie. But I also think the trailer looks good. So I'm going to go see it, but I'm not like jumping up and down.
I hope there's
for it.
action and fights, because we don't really get a lot of fighting from the Fantastic Four so far in the display we've got in the media. I mean, there's like one fight at the end of the first Fantastic Four movie we have with, Chris Evans and the crew, Michael Chiklis, Jessica Alba, but I want to see them fight like the way Spider-Man fights. We get to see them save people or try to stop people, like they're holding up the London Eye in the second Fantastic Four movie, The Rise of the Silver Surfer. But I want to see I want to see a different kind of action. I want to see like combat looks like for them.
Yeah, I feel like normally they're going up against like bigger entities
Yeah.
that are like threatening the whole city kind of thing. Kind of like the Void or something.
Yeah, they'll be like shooting something at something.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see you guys fight. Or
Yeah.
they're trying to solve a problem, escape from somewhere, get into somewhere.
Right. Okay, these next few movies I haven't really heard of too much of them. That's on our list here. The first one, August 1st. We're kind of getting out of summer here, almost back to school time at this point. August 1st, we have The Naked Gun.
Have you seen the trailer?
I have not.
I'll show it to you. It's a good trailer. The Naked Gun is a classic Leslie Nielsen movie that I think they made 2 or 3 of, and they're basically reviving it now with Liam Neeson, which is hilarious.
So it's like a remake?
Yeah, going from Leslie Nielsen to Liam Neeson is hilarious. And he's a perfect fit for the role. His like dry wit, sense of humor is really plays off in the trailer well. It's about a cop. It's like very slapstick comedy, very goofy. Probably not your traditional favorite kind of movie for you, Aaron.
Hmm.
But I do think it looks like a lot of fun. I want to go see it in theaters. I love Liam Neeson. I've never seen a Liam Neeson role where the problem with the movie was Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
He's only been phenomenal whenever I've seen him on screen.
Yeah. He's just kind of got typecast there for a while.
Which I'm not mad about. He's good at that, being the like tough guy, the
Yeah. And
stoic
then, like,
guy.
dude, talk about job security.
Yeah, he's got
Right?
100 action movies a year.
Like, I'm just going to go make 3 of these this year. Sounds good to me.
But he's good in comedies. I've seen him in Million Ways to Die in the West. He's great in Million Ways to Die in the
Yeah.
West. Um, so I'm excited for that one.
Okay, cool.
I'll show you the trailer after this. Look it up. It's online if you want to watch it, guys. We said the release date for that one. I'm sure it's R-rated as well.
Yeah, August 1st. And then August 1st, this wasn't on our list, but it is right here. The Bad Guys 2. We did bring that up earlier. So that comes out too. That's another animated movie. Is it DreamWorks, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
starring Sam Rockwell.
So that's another one coming out. I think the animation looks cool for this one too. It kind of reminds me of like a comic book.
I think it'd be a
The way
fun
that
movie
it's
to watch.
animated.
It feels kind of Zootopia-esque with the animal characters.
Yeah. Okay, and then the next one we got on our list here, moving to August 8th, is Weapons.
Yeah, I don't really know
much
too
about
much
that
about
either.
Weapons except I've seen the trailer, and the trailer's kind of teaser-esque. It doesn't leave a lot of information for you, but the description says, when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. I think like all these kids just get up and run out of their houses and go to some mysterious unknown place, and it's like a mystery horror type movie. Um, Maybe like not quite the same plot, but almost in the vein of Children of the Corn, like a scary movie involving children.
Hmm.
And it's directed by Zach Kreger, which directed and written, which that's the director and I believe writer of Barbarian, which is a very popular horror movie from I think 5 years ago already, possibly 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That movie was pretty good, very creepy and strange, and then starring Julia Garner and Josh Brolin. So the cast is pretty cool. I mean, if Josh Brolin's there, I'm there.
He's the man.
He's awesome.
August 8th, we have kind of in the opposite genre, we have Freakier Friday 2.
Yeah, this is one of our last ones that we're going to talk about. Freakier Friday 2, I think, is a super unnecessary sequel.
I've been dying to see this.
I've been begging for them to make Freakier Friday 2 of 15, 20 years later. I do not care about this movie. This is soulless art. This is a unnecessary sequel.
Dang, man, that's crazy.
I don't
I
care
don't
about
think
this.
you would think so if you got hired to work on it.
Well, if they're paying me, then I would just do what I'm told. No, I think I just wouldn't be super excited about the concept of this movie. Like, it's unfortunate. It seems like this energy and time from this could have gone into something more new and wanted. Who's begging for this?
Watch this one be like better than the first one.
Better than any movie? I doubt it. First one's good. Freaky Friday 1 is a funny movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's Lindsay Lohan's heyday.
The last movie on our list that we're going to talk about is August 29th, Caught Stealing.
Coming in clutch at the end of summer. So Caught Stealing is a movie starring Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz. The trailer is out now. It came out somewhat recently. I want to say like a week ago. About a week ago. But this movie is directed by Darren Aronofsky, director of movies like Black Swan. I believe he directed The Lighthouse. But he's an interesting director. His movies are always very unique. This movie, I'll give you the description. Burned out ex baseball player Hank Thompson unexpectedly finds himself embroiled in a dangerous struggle for survival amidst the criminal underbelly of 1990s New York City, forced to navigate a treacherous underworld he never imagined. So I didn't know this burned out ex baseball player element, which is a good detail because he is jacked in this movie. And so it makes sense that he was a professional athlete because he's like unbelievably fit in the scene with him and Zoe Kravitz where he's shirtless. But this movie looks like it has a cool, fast pace, cool camera work. There's like a running sequence in the street where somebody's chasing him, and there's just really cool shots in the trailer. So I'm excited to watch it. It looks fast paced, exciting. I like these kind of criminal underbelly world type movies. I like darker movies. So I'm very excited to see it. And the cast is awesome. I mean, Austin Butler is a great actor. You got Matt Smith, Zoe Kravitz, Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin's in this. Liev Schreiber, Regina King, Bad Bunny. The cast is unbelievable. So a really interesting looking movie. Another one of those small movies that we mentioned that we might talk about. Definitely smaller than like a Superman type movie, but still looks very interesting and very cool. Maybe you guys haven't heard of it and you might want to check it out.
Yeah, this just goes back to those original stories that we're
Yes.
begging for
Yes.
instead of a Freakier Friday too. Huh?
And like movies like this, they don't have to make it take place in 90s New York. It could have been modern New York, but they made it harder on themselves to give it a cool, unique aesthetic. And changing that one detail has insane ripple effects to their entire production to make it so much more work. You have to have cars that are only produced in the 90s in any exterior shots. The exteriors have to look like the 90s. The clothing has to be from the 90s. You can't have modern clothing.
I'm
So
sure they have studios set up like, hey, go to the 90s studio lot.
yeah, I'm sure that
Over there, they got all the 90s cars loaded up. And
but you can't say it doesn't make it like a
Yeah, it
lot
does.
harder.
It
It
does.
does. It's, you know, I might be inflating it a little bit in terms of the big budget Hollywood studio movies, but it is a lot more difficult.
it'd be a lot harder for us
Yeah.
to do something like that because we'd have to source all of that 90s stuff. And then also, the harder part is getting rid of all of the stuff that comes after the 90s.
Yeah.
That's what I would think would be the harder part.
The dialogue has to fit the 90s. Like it's hard. You have to consider that with every element of it, you know?
Right.
No cell phones, no Apple Watches. You gotta
No like references in like our language to like things that are made now.
yeah.
You know, like sometimes I can imagine that being hard, you know?
You can't say about a week ago.
But yeah, let us know down in the comments below which movie you're looking forward to the most. We got 3 huge movies coming out in movies coming out in July. But outside of those, what are some of your favorite movies that you think you'll enjoy or go to the theaters to see? Let us know down in the comments below. If you want to join the conversation even more with Andrew and I and some of our closest movie friends and fans of the show, you can click on the link in the description to join our Discord. Andrew, do you want to tell them about the Discord?
Oh, the Discord's awesome, guys. It's basically like a giant group chat with different sections where we talk about different topics. All the stuff we talk about in here, movies, TV shows, comics, and more. We do polls to see what everyone thinks about different subjects. We talk about newly released or upcoming movies, newly released trailers, and people share their own original artwork in there. We argue and debate all the time, and it is loads of fun. You can actually join that. If you believe it or not, you can join it absolutely for free.
Yeah, how many things in life are free these days? Like, you could probably use one hand to do that, you know, but I hey, you gotta pay for that sometime.
But it is free. The link is in the description below, so you can click and join, chat directly with us, other friends of the show, and people who have been on the show.
Yeah. We post new full episodes every Monday and Thursday, but make sure you hit that subscription button and notification bell so you don't miss anything. Like our special video that's coming out or has already come out by this point, and that is Andrew and I making a short film inspired by Mission Impossible. We went to the city, Andrew dressed up in a suit, and we ran through the streets capturing footage for this short film. It was a lot of fun. We created a full behind the scenes video of our process, how we came up with the script, the idea, how we found our locations, made our shots, did our edit. It's all talked about in that vlog, and that was a lot of fun to do and make. It should already be out, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and that's a wrap.